Hello everyone, in the last video we saw how to create a model in Odoo 18. In that video we created our first ever model named student.student, in which we created different types of fields. In this video we are going to see how to create a menu and a tree and a form view for our student.student model. But what do I mean by a menu and tree and form view? Well, if we click on this thing, then we will see different types of things here. These are called menus. If I click on these cells, then we will be taken into the tree view of our cells model. The technical name of the cells model is probably cell.order. Well, so this is the tree view. And if we click on this record in this tree view, then we will be taken in the form view of this particular record. So we are going to build similar kind of thing for our student.student model also. So let's see how we do that. For that, first of all, we need to create a directory named views in our root directory, which is student_management. So let's create that. Views, and inside that we will be creating two files named views.xml and views_menu.xml. So let's create them one by one. Views.xml and viewsmenu.xml. Now the very first thing we need to do is that we have to list this views.xml and views_menu.xml in the under manifest.py file under a attribute under a key named data, which contains a list, and we have to write the path of this views and viewsmenu.xml file. So let's create views, which is the directory name, then slash, then the file name, views.xml. Then the views menu, views, which is the directory name, slash, views_menu.xml. Alright. Now we will be creating our tree and form view here. First of all, we need to create the XML prologue, which is $XML version. I will be going for 1.0, then encoding UTF-8. This line is basically called XML prologue, which specifies that we are going to write XML code here in this views.xml file. So now we have to write the Odoo tag first, then we will create our view under the record attribute, record tag more specifically. So record, first we will create our tree view. So let's create a comment, tree view of a student.student model. Well, let's comment it out. A little bit of formatting. Start and end. Inside this section, we will create our tree view. So let's create that record, which will have an ID and an unique ID. So I will go for student view tree and the model under which we are going to create this view. So the default model which are used for creating view, is ir.ui.view. Now we have to create different types of fields here. First, we will give a name for this review. So I will go for student review name. Then we will have to write the model for which we're going to create this review, which is student.student. So the attribute is model, and here we have to paste this thing. Now we have to create another field named arg, and type will be XML. And inside this we will create our review. So we will use the tree tag here, and here we will write the field, all the field names that we want to show in this review. Name, like I want to show name, student ID, date of birth, and gender. I want to show only these 4 fields into the review. If you want to show more than these 4 fields, you can also do that. The process is same. So I will pick up this name first, then student ID, then DOB, which is date of birth, then gender. Well, so this is our review. That's completed. Now we will be creating our form view for this student model. So the process is basically same. So I'm going to copy this tree view code and paste here, and update something here. In the place of tree, we will write form. Tree form, sorry, not form, it's form. The model name is same, this field name and type is same, but here in the place of form we have to write in the place of tree we have to write form, and here the field name. But in the form view I want to show every fields that are inside our student model. So let's take them one by one and place inside our form tag. So I have already taken name, student ID, DOB, and gender. Also take image, which is after student ID. Well, then take email, then take phone, then address, then guardian name, guardian phone, then admission date. Well, so this is done also. Now what we will do, we will create a menu. First of all, we have to create the XML prologue, which is this, then the Odoo tag, which is very important. Then we will create our menu item. So the tag name is menu item. We have to have a root menu like this. These cells is a root menu, and inside these cells, these orders, to invoice, products, reporting, and configuration, all of these menus are sub menus or child menus. So we have to create a root menu first. So in this menu item, we have to pass an ID which should be unique, which must be unique, I should say. So I'll create that as student underscore student root menu, and we have to pass a name which will be shown here like this: sales, dashboards, invoicing. So we will create a menu named student management, which is the root menu for all for the entire module, for this entire student management module. So we will create student management menu. So we have to pass that name here, student management, which will be shown inside that menus tab, student management. Then sequence. The smaller the sequence is, the menu will be shown the prior of all these menus. So I will go for an extreme smaller sequence that our menu gets appeared at the very first of this list. Well, that's it. This is our root menu. But this menu item will be shown only when it has a submenu. So we have to create a submenu first. Menu item. And inside this we have to pass an ID. I will go for a student menu, where we will have the tree view and form view of our student model. Student menu, name, students, sequence 0, as this is going to be the first menu of our root menu item, which is the student management. Well, that's it. So we have created our tree and form views and our menu, but one thing is missing, which is, I have already said before, when we click on this menu, we will be shown this tree view and then the form view. But what is the connection between them? There is no connection. They are totally independent things. I mean to say, between this tree and form view and this menu item here, which is the students, there is no connection between them. Well, I forgot one thing also. I said that this menu item will be inside this menu item, so I have to make a connection between them. So I have to add the parent attribute of this menu item and pass this ID of this root menu item. Well, this problem is solved, but as I have said before, there is no connection between this menu item and this tree and form view. For that, we have to create an action view, which will be working as a bridge between these views and those menus. So let's create, first of all, create a comment first, action of student model let's comment them out. Well, inside this we will create our action, which is a record also, which will have an ID also, student action, and the model for this will be ir.actions.act window, which is built in Odoo as this ir.ui.view here. For creating an action, we have to use the ir.actions.act_window model. Inside this, we have to create some fields. Name will be student, then the model for which we are creating this action, but in this case the name is a little different. For a tree and form view we used just model, but for actions we have to write res underscore model. So which is student dot student, then we have to create the view mode. I mean, for which types of views this action is responsible. So for our tree and form view, we want to create this action. So for tree and form view, for only tree and form view, this action is responsible. Later, when we will create different types of views like Kanban or different types of other views, we will enlist them here. But one thing is important to remember, that we cannot add an space here. No space is needed here. If we do that, we will get an error. So let's delete that space. Now we have created our action. Now we have to add this action ID inside our menu item, clicking on which we will be getting into the tree view and form view. So here in the action attribute we have to pass the action ID. Now we have successfully built a connection between our menu item and our tree and form views through this action. But we're not done yet. We have to create another thing, which is security. So for that we will create another directory named security. Inside that I will create a CSV file, and the conventional name of that file will be ir.model.access.csv. You can have any name as you prefer, but I will go for the conventional one. Now first of all, I have to enlist this security file in our data attribute in our manifest.py file. So I will enlist this as the very first of this data list. The path is security /ir.model.access.csv. Don't forget to add the comma. Well, inside this we have to create the header of this CSV file, which will contain the column names for this CSV file. So the header will look like this: ID, no space, then name, then model ID, colon ID, then group ID, colon ID, then different types of permission: perm underscore read, perm underscore write, perm underscore create, and perm underscore unlink. Now we have to provide value for each of this column. First of all, I will go for the ID. I will go for a unique ID named access underscore student underscore student. Then for the name, I will go for the same thing, access underscore student underscore student. Then the model ID, we have to keep this model underscore thing as the prefix first, model underscore, then our model name, which is student.student, but we have to replace all the dot using underscore. Then we have to pass a group ID, but for now we don't have any group. Later when we will create any group, then we will pass the group ID here. For now we will keep that as empty. Then we will have to pass the required permission. That means what permissions do we want to perform in our model. So there's a mistake. This should not be rim but read. Well, so this one is for read, whether we can read our data or not. This one is for write, whether we can write our data or not. This write or update, I will say. And this form_create is for whether we can create any record in our model or not. And this one is for deletion, which is form_link unlink. So we have to pass on or 0 for all of these 4 columns. If we want to perform these actions in our model, then we have to pass 1, otherwise 0. So I want to perform all of these 4 things: read, write, create, and unlink. I want to read, I want to write, I want to create, and I want to delete my record. I want to have all the rights for this particular model. So I will have pass on for all these 4 columns. Now we're done. We have created our views. We have created our views menu. We have connected our views with menu item using action. We have created our security. Now we're ready to test if our menu is created and the corresponding views are created or not. So let's reload our server. And then upgrade our module. Let's see everything is okay or not, or we get an error. Well, we have got an error, which is what? Well, it gets an error here. Oh, I forgot to say one thing, that in Odoo 18 there is no tree view. In the case of tree view, they introduced a new tag named list. So I have to use the list tag here instead of tree. Everything else is the same. So let's reload our server again and try to upgrade our module again. Upgrade. Let's see what happens, whether we get an error or not. Well, we have got another error, which is what? Okay, we have used tree here, but we have to use the list here. Let's reload again and then upgrade our module again. Upgrade. Let's see what happens now. Hopefully it will work now. It's loading. And yes, we have got our menus and tree views. If you go here, we can see at the very top of this list we have got our student management menu, which is our root menu here. If we go to views_menu, we had created a menu named the student management, which is enlisted here. And if we click on that, we are getting taken to this tree view. Now in here we can create our student. What should I write here? I don't understand which type of field these are. So we don't get any field name beside them. So for that we have to add another tag inside this form tag, which is group. And inside that group tag we have to pass all these fields. And if we reload our server and upgrade ons our module, this problem will be solved. Now if we create a student, then we can see all the name of these fields. Now we can understand what type of value we should enter is of this field, because we can see the name of these fields. So we can have a name like Joy, a student ID ST001, we can upload a image file, but in this video we're not going to do that. If you want, then you can also upload your image. Date sorry, not 2025, but it should be 1999, February 3rd, gender male, email joy@test.com. sorry, not that. Phone number 01657098765. Our random number. Address, test address, guardian name Odoo, guardian phone 01340987654. Our random number. Admission date 29th July 2015. Well, if we save this, it's saved, and if we go here, then we can see our tree view where we enlisted name, student ID, date of birth and gender in our tree view. So here we can see those fields: name, student ID, date of birth, gender. And if we click on this record, we will be taken into the form view for this particular record. Click and we are taken here. So we have created successfully our menu items and tree and form views. So for today, this is it. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching this video.